Have you ever paused and wondered why certain people seem to quietly slip away from your life without any explanation? Why is it that when you enter a room, people turn to look, not always with admiration, but sometimes with confusion, maybe even discomfort? Why do some people get instantly drawn to you like a magnet, only to pull away just as fast, as if they've touched something too intense? You're not being too sensitive, you're not exaggerating, you're powerful, and it's obvious. This message is for those who've always felt a bit out of place, not because they lacked worth, but because they carried something inside that others couldn't explain. A force, a spark, a frequency most people simply aren't ready to meet. Your energy speaks louder than your words. It enters the room before you do and communicates in a way that only the awakened can recognize. When your energy is solid and your soul has survived storms, when you've turned your pain into perspective, you don't move through life like everyone else. You carry yourself with a quiet force that demands truth. You create space so deep that people are forced to face parts of themselves they usually avoid. You don't have to shout to be heard. Your silence carries weight. And while some people will be naturally pulled to you, others will misread you. They'll say you're intimidating, but what they really mean is they're unfamiliar with someone who doesn't rely on approval. They'll describe you as distant, but you're just protecting your inner peace. They'll call you intense, but it's because you stir emotions they haven't dealt with. That's the price of holding real power. Not everyone is ready to be near it. And when that strength radiates from you effortlessly, woven into how you move, speak, and just exist, people notice. Some may pause. Some may stare. They might feel something they don't fully understand. Some feel too seen and turn away quickly. They might come close, then back off in confusion or spend time reflecting after encountering you, not because you judged them, but because your raw presence reminded them of what they've buried deep. In this video, we're going to break it down honestly. We won't soften the truth. We'll talk about 13 signs that your energy might simply be too strong for some people to handle. No sugarcoating, no watering down. If you've ever been told you're too much, or felt alone even among a crowd, or noticed how others react unexpectedly to you, this is for you. Your presence is powerful, your energy is uncommon, and it's time you understood why. Let's start with the first few signs that your energy causes ripples, shifts minds, and quietly demands respect, whether the world is ready or not, because when your aura has that much impact, it's not just energy. It's a movement. Have you ever walked into a room and felt the atmosphere shift, even if you hadn't said a word? Have you noticed people watching you, hesitating, unsure of what to say or how to act? You're not imagining things. You're not overthinking. What they're reacting to is your presence, your field of energy. And when that energy is clear, rooted, and real, it doesn't just blend in. It transforms everything around it. Not everyone knows how to deal with that. Not everyone is at ease with that kind of strength. Your energy reveals truths that many haven't yet accepted. Let's talk about what this looks like. First, you make people feel uneasy without even speaking. You don't need to be loud to be noticed. You don't chase the spotlight, but somehow it finds you anyway. Conversations slow down when you walk in. People shift in their seats, fix their posture. It's not your outfit or tone, it's your energy. You move with calm confidence, and that rattles people who aren't sure of themselves. They might say you're too much, but really, they're just not used to someone who doesn't seek approval. Second, you speak the truth, even when it's uncomfortable. You're not interested in small talk or fake niceties. When something feels off, you sense it. When someone's being fake, you notice right away. And instead of going along with it, you speak up. You choose honesty, even when it's not easy. In a world where many people stay quiet just to fit in, this makes you stand out. Some might call you blunt, but deep down they know you're just being real. That kind of honesty forces people to face things they've been avoiding. Third, you see through people almost instantly. It's not some trick, it's intuition. You understand energy the way others read facial expressions. Words can lie, but energy doesn't. And you're sharp at reading what's behind the words. That's why some people feel exposed around you. They know they can't pretend. They sense that you see beyond their mask, and that can make them keep their distance. Your presence calls for authenticity, and not everyone's ready to give that. Fourth, people are drawn to you, then often get confused. You have a magnetic energy. People want to know more about you, even if they don't fully understand why. But once they get close, they realize you're not like others. You're calm but strong, gentle but unshakable. You don't follow trends. You don't need applause. Yet, you still catch attention. That confuses people. It challenges everything they thought they knew about charm and confidence. Your energy doesn't cling. It stands tall. Fifth, you're perfectly fine being alone. You don't need company to feel whole. You enjoy your own space. Silence doesn't scare you. It comforts you. While others seek distraction or approval, you found peace in solitude. This shakes those who depend on others to feel okay, but you've learned that real strength is built in solitude, and that quiet power makes your presence unforgettable. If you've ever been left out, misunderstood, or overlooked just for being who you are, stop doubting yourself. Your energy isn't too much, it's just very real. And in a world full of fake smiles, that kind of realness can be uncomfortable. But let's keep going. Sixth, you don't chase people anymore. You attract what belongs. You've stopped begging for love, attention, or recognition. You no longer run after those who can't see your worth. You know your energy speaks for itself. You've done the work, you've grown, and now you don't feel the need to prove your value. Some might say you're cold, but deep down, they admire your self-respect. Seventh, you bring things to the surface that others weren't ready to deal with. Just by being yourself, you make others feel things. Not intentionally, but naturally. Your confidence makes their insecurity loud. Your calmness reveals their chaos. Your honesty shows them where they're pretending. Because of that, they may avoid you, reject you, or try to pull you down. But how they react says more about them than about you. You're a mirror, and not everyone likes what they see. Eighth, your boundaries are unspoken but clear. You don't need to demand respect. It's felt in your presence. You move with purpose. You engage with intention. People automatically know what's acceptable and what's not around you. You don't allow drama. You don't tolerate manipulation. That kind of emotional discipline is rare, and it unsettles people who are used to testing limits. Your aura sends a strong message. I know who I am, and I protect my peace. Ninth, your energy inspires people to do better. Whether you realize it or not, you push others to grow, not by forcing them, but by being an example. You live your truth. You embody strength and self-awareness. You've walked through pain and turned it into wisdom. People feel that, even if they don't admit it. Your journey makes them look closer at their own path. Here's the truth. Not everyone will like you. Not everyone will get you, and many won't celebrate your presence. But that's okay. You're not here to fit in. You're here to awaken, to shine so brightly that others are forced to confront themselves, even if it overwhelms them. If you see yourself in these signs, don't shrink to make others comfortable. Don't dim your light to be accepted. Keep growing. Keep showing up. Your energy has purpose. Having a strong aura isn't just about how people react. It's about how deeply you've worked on yourself. It's the result of pain turned into power, lessons turned into standards, and self-respect turned into presence. Your presence is a message. It enters rooms before you say a word. It speaks your soul's truth, steady, clear, and unapologetic. And while that energy will attract the right people, it will also repel anything false, weak, or afraid. That's not your burden to carry. It's your gift to protect. Seventh, you make silence feel powerful. You're not afraid of stillness. You don't rush to fill space with chatter. Your quiet presence carries meaning. And when you do speak, it's intentional. People listen, not because you're loud, but because your words have weight. Your calm presence unsettles those who thrive on noise and distraction, yet it also calls for depth. That's where your strength lives. You no longer need to prove who you are. Once you did when you relied on others to confirm your value, but that time has passed. Now, your worth doesn't need to be explained. You reveal it simply by being. You move with truth, and that truth doesn't depend on applause. To feel real, You don't compete anymore because your attention stays rooted on your path. That quiet confidence, that solid clarity, it shakes people who haven't found their own center. They can't grasp how you've become so steady without needing their approval. Many place their doubts on you. That's not your fault. But when someone is insecure in themselves, your groundedness can feel like a challenge. They might label you arrogant when you're actually just self-assured. They might say you're distant when in truth you're just careful with your energy. People reflect their hurt, fears, and untold stories onto those whose vibe they can't comprehend. But here's the truth. You're not responsible for how others respond to your light. You're only responsible for keeping it alive. You're not made for everyone, and now you found peace with that. This could be the strongest sign of all. You've stopped shrinking, bending, or watering yourself down to make others feel at ease. You've embraced that your presence isn't meant to be convenient. It's meant to shift the atmosphere. And real transformation isn't comfortable. You weren't created to blend into the background. You were built to rise. You were born to stir something deeper. You enter rooms and remind people of their potential or what they're too scared to face. By now, you've begun to understand that your aura isn't just energy. It's your presence. It's your truth. It's a frequency many aren't prepared to match. When your aura feels strong, it's not because you want to appear intimidating. It's because you've done the work. You've healed. You've grown. You've faced storms that could have torn you down, but they didn't. Instead, they shaped you. And that kind of power can't be faked. It can't be mimicked. It can't be softened. Let's explore how your strong aura impacts the world around you and why some people simply can't handle it. You challenge the familiar without even trying. Just your presence makes others examine their patterns, their thoughts, their way of living. Why? Because you're not running on autopilot like most. You don't follow trends. You follow truth. You don't settle for the average. You move with purpose. And that kind of energy unsettles. It pushes people to look inward. Some will respect you for that. Others might resist you. But no matter what, you leave an imprint. You weren't made to follow the same direction as everyone else. You're carving your own. And those who fear standing alone won't understand why you refuse to blend in. You live with clarity while others float through life. You move with direction. Your choices are intentional. Your words are mindful. Your time is protected. You no longer invest in what drains you. You pour into what strengthens you. You choose calm over popularity, growth over comfort, purpose over approval. That's what gives your presence that magnetic pull. And at times makes it feel intimidating. People can sense when someone truly knows who they are and refuses to be anything else. You are unapologetically true. You stopped altering yourself to be accepted. You stopped shrinking to help others feel large. You quit pretending to fit into places that were never meant for you. That level of honesty is powerful, it's rare, and it rattles those still hiding behind masks. Your authenticity reveals their performance. And instead of confronting their truth, they may blame you for being too much, too bold, too open, too intense. But what they really mean is, you reflect everything I'm not yet ready to be. You're steady in your space. This might be one of your greatest signs of strength. When your aura is strong, you don't need people around to feel important. You don't need attention to feel alive. If you've found peace in your own company and that disturbs people who can't stand their own silence, they won't understand how you shine without spotlight and grow in solitude. But that's your gift. You're self-powered. You don't depend on outside energy to feel whole. You already are. You didn't suddenly become this way. You earned it. Through pain you healed from quietly. Through battles you faced alone. Through every moment you kept going when giving up would have been easier, you built that light. And now it's unmistakably bright, magnetic, genuine. Yes, it might feel like too much for some, but that's not your problem. Here's your reminder. Protect your energy, honor your growth, carry your power with dignity. You don't beg to be seen anymore. There was a time when you longed for inclusion. You made yourself smaller to fit in. You kept quiet to avoid tension. But now your energy doesn't ask for a seat. It arrives. And those who feel it, who truly understand your vibration, they'll know you instantly. They won't ask you to tone it down. They'll respect your glow. You no longer chase spaces, you create them. You exit without guilt. A powerful aura is guided by boundaries, and setting limits isn't rude, it's honest. You've learned to walk away from what brings confusion, chaos, or steals your peace. And here's something real. The more powerful your presence becomes, the more sacred your space must be. You're not cold, you're focused. You're not harsh, you're precise. Yes, people who once enjoyed your lack of boundaries may say you've changed. Let them. Because now you understand the difference between being kind to others and being loyal to yourself. You lead without trying. You don't seek to impress. You inspire just by being authentic. Your strength reminds others what's possible. Your presence gives others permission to trust themselves. You are living proof that darkness doesn't have to defeat you, it can refine you. You wear your scars like trophies. You speak with clarity because struggle has taught you how. And even if you're unaware, your energy shifts spaces. You don't simply exist, you elevate. Your aura works like a mirror. To some it brings healing, to others discomfort. Why? Because it shows them what they are or what they fear they may never become. Some will be uplifted by your spirit. Others will avoid you, unable to face what your light reveals. Stand steady. Your light isn't here to make everyone cozy. It's here to awaken. One last thing, stay unapologetically you. Don't hide, don't shrink, don't silence your presence. You weren't made to be overlooked. You were born to shine. Your energy isn't for the timid, it's for the brave, the healed, the awake. And if it feels like too much for some, let them go. The ones meant for you won't ask you to dim yourself. They'll rise to meet you at your level. Let's be honest, having a strong aura isn't always easy. It's a blessing, but it can feel heavy when people misunderstand, avoid, or label you. But now you know you weren't designed to blend in. You were built to stand tall. You were never too much, too strong, too different to love. You are real. And in a world addicted to illusion, real is rare. Real breaks patterns. Real wakes people up. And that's not a burden to carry. It's a calling to fulfill. Your energy doesn't follow trends. It resets the room. It challenges what's shallow. It stirs people out of comfort. That's exactly why your light must remain on. People like you weren't meant to fade into silence. You were sent to shift energy, to raise the standard, to show what truth looks like. Yes, it can get lonely. Yes, you may lose people. But what you gain is deeper peace, purpose, and an unshakable strength. Stop trying to be liked. Stop molding yourself to fit where you've outgrown. You don't need to justify your energy to people who haven't faced their shadows. You don't need to shrink for spaces that can't contain your full light. Here's the truth. Some people will place their fears on you. They'll label your strength as ego. They'll try to stir your peace. But none of that changes who you are. You are intentional. You are magnetic. Not because you pretend to be, but because life has shaped you that way. The people meant for you, they'll understand. They won't run. They won't try to edit you. They'll meet you with equal power. So stop saying sorry for your presence. Stop doubting your gift. Stop lowering your energy to keep others comfortable. If your light feels too much for someone, let them leave. Their absence isn't a loss. It's space for greater alignment. Because a true aura never begs for attention. It earns respect just by being present. Final truth, you weren't meant to be fully understood by all. You're here to be felt by those who are ready. Your light isn't overwhelming, it's perfectly placed for the right ones, so walk proud, speak soft, and never apologize for the strength within you. Your light isn't a threat. It's a reflection, and only those brave enough to see themselves will see you clearly.